Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for standing by and welcome to the fourth quarter and full year 2019 Momo earnings conference call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. After the speaker's presentation, we will have a question and answer session. If you wish to ask a question in today's session, please press star followed by 1 on your telephone keypad and wait for your name to be announced. Please note that this conference call is being recorded today. I would now like to hand the conference over to our first speaker today, Ms. Kathy Tang. Thank you. Please go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you, operator. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for Momo's fourth quarter and fiscal 2019 earnings conference call. The company's results were released earlier today and are available on the company's IR website. On the call today from Momo are Mr. Tang, co-founder, chairman, and chief executive officer, Mr. Wang Li, president and chief operating officer, Mr. Wang Yu, founder and chief executive officer of Tang, and Mr. Jonathan Zhang, chief financial officer. They will discuss the company's business operations and highlights, as well as the financials and guidance. We will all be available to answer your questions during the Q&A session that follows. Before we begin, I would like to remind you that this call may contain forward-looking statements made under the safe harbor provisions of the Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Such statements are based on management's current expectations and current market and operating conditions and relate to the events that involve known or unknown risks, uncertainties, and other factors, all of which are difficult to predict and many of which are beyond the company's control, which may cause the company's actual results, performance, or achievements to differ materially from those in the forward-looking statements. Further information regarding these and other risks, uncertainties, and factors is included in the company's filings with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. The company does not undertake any obligation to update any forward-looking statements as a result of new information, future events, or otherwise, except as required under law. I will now pass the call over to Mr. Tang. I will translate for him. Mr. Tang, please.
大家好，感谢参加我们今天的电话会议。四季度业绩表现出色，为2019年画上了圆满的句号。接下来我和团队为大家介绍一下具体情况。
Good morning and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining our conference call today. Q4 was another solid quarter, closing out a fruitful year of 2019. Now my team and I will take you through the details.
首先简单介绍一下财务表现。2019年四季度总营收 46.9 亿元，同比增长 22%， 调整后营业利润 14.6 亿人民币，同比增长 42%。
Firstly, a brief overview of the financial performance. For the fourth quarter 2019, total revenue reached 4.69 billion RMB, up 22% year-on-year. Adjusted operating income for the quarter was 1.46 billion RMB, up 42% from the same period last year.
2019财年总营收170亿人民币，同比增长 27%， 调整后营业利润 51.2 亿人民币，同比增长 30%， 利润率 30.1%， 较上年提升1个百分点。去除摊摊并表的财务影响，陌陌主爱调整后营业利润 55.4 亿人民币，对应营业利润率 35.2%， 较2018年提升 2.8个百分点。我很高兴看到全年的收入和利润都超出了我们的预期，这证实了团队出色的执行能力。
For fiscal year 2019, total revenue came in 17 billion RMB, up 27% year-over-year. Adjusted operating income reached 5.12 billion RMB, up 30% year-on-year, or a 30.1% operating margin, 1 percentage point higher than that of last year. Excluding Tang's financial impact, adjusted operating income for the core Momo would have been 5.54 billion RMB, up a 35.2% or a 35.2% adjusted operating margin, 2.8 percentage points higher than that of 2018. I'm very proud that the financial performance of the year has exceeded our expectations at both top line and bottom line levels. It's a testament of the execution capabilities of our team.
接下来具体介绍本季度情况。首先，用户规模持续增长。Momo 主 App 4季度月活达到 1.15 亿人，同比增长 1%， 季度净增40万人。4季度行业整体获客环境不甚理想，给新注册用户增长带来一些压力，并导致 MAU 季度净增比较有限。虽然用户漏斗顶端新增承受了一些压力，但我很高兴地看到漏斗内部的用户指标显著提升。首先，本季度留存率持续好转，并已经回弹到停更前的水平。其次，每用户每日使用时长达到2年来的新高。另外，Momo 主 App 付费用户数4季度加速增长，达到930万人，季度净增了40万人。这些积极的改善为我们在2020年进一步推动用户增长奠定了坚实的基础。这些成果主要得益于我们在产品创新和运营两方面持续不断的努力。稍后我和团队会为大家详细介绍。
Now a deeper dive into the quarter. Firstly, our community continued to grow. The core Momo app had 114.5 million monthly actives for the fourth quarter, up 1% year over year, and representing a 400K net addition from the previous quarter. The user acquisition environment in the fourth quarter was not ideal, which put some pressure on the number of new registrations and caused our MAU net adds to be modest. Despite the pressure at the top of the funnel, I'm happy to see that we were making impressive improvement within the user funnel. First, retention continued to improve during the quarter and has bounced back to the pre-suspension period. Second, per user time spent per day reached a record high in the recent 2 years. And lastly, total paying users for the core Momo platform accelerated its growth and reached 9.3 million in Q4 2019, a 400,000 net addition from last quarter. These positive improvements laid a solid foundation for us to drive further user growth in 2020. They were made possible by our relentless focus on product innovation and operational efforts throughout the year, which my team and I will elaborate a bit later.
接下来简单介绍一下探探。4季度探探付费用户数450万人，环比持平。一方面原因在于用户恢复速度未能达到初始预期，另一方面是由于 iOS 13版本改变了其订阅管理政策，导致一次性的退订增加。3季度末开始，探探留存率出现的下行压力，导致其用户量的恢复速度慢于预期。团队在11月中旬找到问题所在之后，迅速采取了有效的应对措施。1月中旬留存率已经恢复到下架前的水平，令活跃用户从1月中到2月中旬呈现迅速增长的趋势。另一方面，2月中旬以后，受到疫情相关隔离措施的影响，探探在新增方面开始面临较大压力。但我们相信，暂时的困难过后，探探的用户和付费用户仍然会重新呈现快速的增长。等一下王宇会为大家详细介绍他们的用户增长策略。
Now quickly on Tantan. Paying user for Tantan was 4.5 million in the fourth quarter, flattish from last quarter, partly due to the slower than expected user recovery and partly due to the change in the iOS 13 subscription management policy, which in turn led to a one-off increase in the churn. Tantan saw some downward pressure around its retention ratio starting from late Q3, which led to a slower than expected recovery process. We were able to pin down the cause of that issue toward late November. The team then took effective measures to resolve the problem. By mid-January, the retention has already gone back to the pre-suspension level, allowing Tantan to experience rapid user growth till mid-February. Since then, Tantan has started to see substantial pressure around daily new registrations. We believe the stress can be largely attributed to the social distancing control in connection with the COVID-19 outbreak. That said, we remain confident that after this temporary disruption is over, Tantan will be able to see rapid growth in its users and paying users. Wang Yu will have more details about their user growth strategy later.
在结束2019进入2020年之际，我想回顾一下我们去年在产品和运营方面的几个成功举措，然后给大家介绍一下2020年扩大用户规模和推动收入增长的计划。
As we closed out the year 2019 and start going into 2020, I would like to review the few things that we've done well on the product and operational side last year, followed by our plan to grow the user base and drive revenue growth in 2020.
我们的使命是帮助用户在平台上发现新朋友，并建立高质量的互动。2019年产品端最大的亮点是我们大大提升了秀场直播之外的音视频体验的产品和运营能力，包括聊天室、派对和狼人杀，令这些功能的用户粘性和活跃度年内都实现了显著增长。另外，19年4季度，团队开始测试一款名为“红娘相亲”的视频约会体验。我们认为它有潜力成为低线城市人们喜爱的一种互动连接方式，这也是我们正在努力推进的一个新方向。
Our mission is to help users discover new relationships and build meaningful interactions on our platforms. One of the biggest highlights on the product side for 2019 is that we've significantly improved the products and operations of the audio and video experiences outside of the talent showrooms, represented by the chat room, parties, and werewolf experiences. As a result, both the user stickiness and engagement metrics of these experiences have seen substantial increase during the year. In addition, in Q4 2019, the team started to test a video dating experience called matchmaking. We believe it has the potential to become a popular way to connect people in lower tier cities, which is a new front that we are pushing hard on right now.
2019年，我们还推出了以抢车位和天天庄园为代表的虚拟社区服务。这些新体验通过游戏化的玩法，结合陌陌的社交功能和关系网络，可以帮用户轻松打破沉默，并更有效地实现关系达成。
In 2019, we also introduced a virtual community service, represented by the parking lot and the farm. These new experiences take the form of mini social games. When integrated with the social features and relationships on Momo, they can help the users easily break the ice and connect to others in a more effective manner.
我们相信这些产品及运营方面的进展，对我刚才提到的用户留存率和活跃度方面的改善起到了至关重要的作用，同时也创造了新的营收机会。王丽等下来会详细介绍这些产品的商业化细节。
We believe these progresses on the product and operational side played a vital role in improving the retention and engagement within the user funnel, which I mentioned in earlier part of my speech. Moreover, they also create new business opportunities. Wang Li will have more details on the monetization endeavors around them later.
接下来我想谈谈2020年，我期待能有更好表现的一个领域，这就是用户增长。目前在中国开放式社交领域，可以看到一些长期利好行业发展的趋势。陌陌和探探是这个行业里最大的两个平台，并且具有很强的互补性。我们还有很多共同成长的机会。为了抓住这些机会，我们的团队要在2020年做好以下几件事。
Now I'd like to talk about the one area where I'd like to see better performance in 2020. That is user growth. Currently, we are seeing some secular tailwinds in China's open social space. Momo and Tantan are the two biggest platforms in this sector with high level of complementarity. Together, we still have a lot of growth opportunities. In order to capture these opportunities, here are a number of things our teams need to execute well in 2020.
首先，我们需要持续完善平台社交体验。如果我们可以在有效满足用户社交需求方面做得越来越好，就总有机会召回那些以前由于需求没有得到有效满足而流失的用户，平台的长期留存也会提高。陌陌拥有数以亿计的有真实交友需求的存量用户，这是一个巨大而真实存在的增长机会。
Firstly, we need to continue to improve the social experience on our platforms. If we can keep doing a better job in satisfying the demand that we were not able to serve well in the past, we always have the opportunity to call back the dormant users and see if we can better retain them. Currently, we're looking at a pool of hundreds of millions of dormant accounts that we can draw on, which presents a real opportunity for user growth.
2020年用户增长的第二个动力来自于低线城市的渗透。过去我们没有针对低线城市的用户需求来制定专门的产品和渠道策略。今年我们在这方面的做法将有所不同。1月我们推出了陌陌极速版，它作为陌陌主 app 的简化版，可以更有效地渗透低线市场。目前我们已经取得了一些初步的积极数据，团队还将在这方面继续努力。对于陌陌主 app， 我们也制定了有针对性的产品和运营计划，以更好地满足低线城市的用户需求。
The second expected growth driver for 2020 lies in the lower tier cities. There are plenty of growth opportunities there. In the past, we didn't have particular strategies, either on the product side or channel side, targeting the lower tier demand. Our approach on that front will be different this year. In January, we rolled out Momo Lite, a light version of the core app in order to more effectively penetrate into the lower tier demand. Initial stats are encouraging, and we will continue to push hard on that front. For the core Momo, we have also developed specific product and operational plans to better serve the users in lower tier cities.
第三，我们希望今年探探可以大幅提升客户效率。与潜在的市场规模和我们预期的目标相比，探探还有很大的增长空间。提升市场推广效率，令获客更为有效，同时改善用户体验，提升产品长期留存。这是驱动探探向目标用户量持续推进的两个最重要的引擎。
Thirdly, we are looking to significantly improve the marketing efficiency at Tantan this year. Compared with the addressable market size and where we believe we should get to, Tantan still has a big headroom to grow. More effective marketing approaches, together with improved product experience and user retention, are the two engines that will drive Tantan closer to our target.
为了更好地抓住国内外开放式社交市场中其他垂直领域的增长机会，我们也在培育除了探探和陌陌以外的新的应用程序。在这方面，我们已经累积了一些宝贵经验，也取得了不错的进展。接下来的这一年，我希望团队沿着这个方向继续推进，并取得更大的成果。
Other than Momo and Tantan, we are also making new bets with separate applications in order to pursue the growth opportunities in other vertical areas within the open social space, both in China and in overseas markets. We have accumulated some valuable experience in this area and made remarkable progress as well. This year, I would like to see the team continue to push forward and take bigger strides on this front.
除了用户增长，收入和利润也是管理层关注的重点。一季度收入指引反映出1月下旬以来，由于新冠肺炎疫情爆发产生的多重负面影响，叠加陌陌主 app 对于一些互动玩法的调整，导致我们收入面临一些压力。陌陌今年业务层面的首要任务是专注于有效的产品及运营措施，不断推出新的玩法来增强用户体验，减小外部因素的冲击，促进营收增长。我们的团队在直播和外事领域都具有丰富的产品及运营经验，在外部和宏观压力的应对能力也经过多次证明。目前团队在这方面已经取得了一些初步的进展，我们有信心能够有效应对目前的挑战，令公司的整体营收尽快重回增长轨道。 等下王丽和王宇会具体的介绍收入增长机会和执行计划细节。
In addition to user growth, revenue and profit also stays on top of management's priority list. As investors can see in our Q1 guidance, since late January, we have been experiencing some pressure on the revenue side due to the negative impacts from the coronavirus outbreak and adjustments to some interactive features on the core Momo platform. In order to effectively counter these stress points and continue to drive revenue growth, the biggest priority on the business side for Momo this year is to focus on effective product and operational initiatives and keep introducing new experience to improve the user experience. Our live streaming and VAS team have plenty of experience and expertise in driving growth via products and operational innovations. We have proven our capabilities through many different adverse situations coming from the outside or at the macro level. As a matter of fact, the team are already making progress on that front. We have full confidence that the team will take effective measures to cope with the current challenges and steer the business back onto the growth track as soon as possible. Wang Li and Wang Yu will have more details for you on our opportunities and execution plans to drive revenue growth later.
最后向大家公告，董事会宣布了每 ADS 派发0.76美元的特别现金鼓励方案，派发现金总额约1.61亿美金，相当于2019年调整后归属于陌陌母公司净利润的25%。这是我们第二次跟股东分享经营成果，代表了管理层为股东持续创造价值的诚意。若公司能够在经营和再投资所需资金之外，持续产生大量冗余现金，在经董事会批准的前提下，我们愿意未来继续把经营成果以股息的形式分享给股东们。感谢各位对陌陌团队的信任。接下来由王丽为大家具体介绍具体的业务情况。
Lastly, I would like to finish my speech today by announcing that our board has declared a cash dividend in the amount of $0.76 per ADS, which will amount to a total cash payment of approximately $161 million, or 25% of our adjusted net income attributable to Momo Inc. in 2019. This is the second time we share the fruits of our operation to our shareholders. It demonstrates management's commitment to creating and delivering shareholder value. If Momo continues to generate excess cash flow compared to the need for operation and reinvestment, and if approved by our board of directors, we would like to continue to share our prosperity with the shareholders in the form of future dividends. Thank you for trusting Momo team. With that, I'm handing over to Wang Zong for our business review. Wang Zong, please.
谢谢。接下来介绍一下我们在主要业务取得的进展。
Thanks. Now let me take you through the progresses we've made across our key business lines.
首先，直播四季度直播收入33.8亿人民币，同比增长14%。2019财年直播总收入124亿人民币。较上年增长16%。2019年的增长得益于我们针对不同付费群体分层运营的策略。年初，我们针对腰部用户推出了以企鹅为代表的互动型礼物，对于创新玩法很大程度上增强了腰部用户的参与感，并提升了他们的付费体验。二季度起，我们针对高额付费用户有计划地推出了一系列促进消费的运营措施，其中比较成功的措施包括上线贵族系统，以及针对 VIP 用户组织的线下音乐巡演、巡乐会。在这些努力的共同作用下，我们看到2019年核心付费用户数实现了令人满意的增长。四季度核心付费人数同比增长20%。
Firstly, on live broadcasting, total revenue from live broadcasting business for the fourth quarter was 3.38 billion RMB, an increase of 14% from the same period last year. Total live broadcasting revenue for fiscal 2019 was 12.4 billion RMB, up 16% from last year. The growth in 2019 was driven by the effective growth strategy to apply different product and operational efforts for different cohorts of users. For the middle cohorts, we introduced interactive gifts represented by the penguin at the beginning of 2019. Such innovation greatly enhanced the sense of participation and improved the paying experience from the middle cohorts. For the high-paying users, since the second quarter, we've started to methodically introduce a series of new operational efforts to drive spending. The most successful ones include the nobility system and the offline VIP music tours. Collectively, these efforts have allowed us to see impressive growth in the number of core paying users in 2019. In Q4, the number of core paying users grew 20% from the same period last year.
2019年，我们也大力增强了直播生态系统中供给端的实力。四季度职业主播人数同比增长19%，月流水200万人民币以上的实力工会数量同比增长44%。这些勤奋的主播和工会对我们在2020年更好的提升用户体验奠定了坚实的基础。
During the year 2019, we also substantially strengthened the supply end of the live broadcasting ecosystem. In Q4, the number of professional broadcasters increased 19% year-over-year, and the number of sizable talent agencies who crossed the 2 million RMB grossing threshold increased 44% compared with the year-ago period. These hardworking performers and agencies have formed a solid foundation for us to continue to drive better user experience in 2020.
2019年，我们还对运营策略进行了调整，从而降低收入对季度赛的依赖，并提升非赛事日的流水。对季度赛依赖程度的减少带来了更加稳定、健康的收入结构，同时还节约了围绕赛事支出的奖金成本，提升了分成的使用效率。因此，我们看到，虽然2019年直播行业竞争激烈，很多比我们更大的平台提供了更高的分成比例，但陌陌仍然能够以平稳的分成比例获得健康的收入增长水平。
In the year 2019, we've also made adjustments to the operational strategy in order to reduce the reliance on the quarterly competition events as a revenue driver and increase the revenue during the non-event days. Less dependence on the tournament events has led to a more stable and healthier revenue structure. In addition, it has also led to reduced bonus spending around the competition events, allowing us to improve the efficiency in using the payouts. As many of the investors know, in 2019, the live streaming space saw intense competition where many bigger platforms offered higher payout ratio than we did. However, I'm proud that in such an environment, we have been able to maintain a stable payout ratio compared with 2018, and at the same time have achieved healthy top line growth.
接下来的案，王宇稍后会介绍探探，我着重讲陌陌主 app 的增值业务。不包含探探 ，VAS 收入8.2亿人民币，同比增长64%。2019财年不包含探探 ，VAS 总收入28.5亿人民币，较上年增长94%。该增长率大幅超出了我们年初的预期，这得益于团队坚持不懈地专注于产品创新和有效的运营工作。
Now turning to VAS, Wang Yu will talk about Tantan's business later, and I'll be focusing on the VAS business for the core Momo. Revenue from VAS on an ex-Tantan basis reached 819.3 million RMB in the fourth quarter of 2019, a 64% increase on a year-over-year basis. For fiscal 2019, VAS revenue ex-Tantan totaled 2.85 billion RMB, up 94% year-over-year. Such growth rate significantly outperformed our expectations at the beginning of the year, driven by the team's relentless focus on the product innovations and effective operational efforts.
陌陌卖出最大的增长动力来自基于音视频的社交娱乐体验，这主要包括快聊、派对、狼人杀和聊天室。正如常言所说，我们2019年最大的亮点之一就是大幅提升了直播秀场之外的音视频产品体验及运营能力。以派对场景为例，团队从流行的真人秀节目中吸取灵感，将这些玩法融合到我们的平台上。同时，派对也引入了主持人模式，在专业主持的引导下，这些新的游戏化玩法大大提升了派对的社交体验和商业化潜力。另外，2季度起，我们开始逐渐加大聊天室的商业化规模，这是目前音视频体验中 DAU 渗透率最高的场景。聊天室场景中有一部分是商业运营法，同样采取了职业主持人的模式。2季度以来，这些商业化房间的营收潜力 逐步开始释放，现已成为我们重要的增长引擎。商业运营房之外，大部分聊天室由陌陌的普通用户发起维护，并在其中自发组织社交活动。目前聊天室90%的流量被导入非商业运营房，仅有10%的流量被释放到高 RP2 的商业化房间。与派对、狼人杀这些老场景相比，聊天室的商业化程度还相当低。考虑到其用户规模和当前的商业化进展，聊天室还有很大的增长潜力。我们计划向高 UP 房间释放更多流量，并改善非商业房的运营工作，在2020年把聊天室打造成新的增长引擎。
The biggest driver for VAS on Momo was the audio and video-based social entertainment experiences, which mainly include quick chat and parties, werewolf, and the chat room experience. As Tang mentioned, one of the biggest highlights for 2019 was that we substantially improved the products and operations of the audio and video experiences outside of the talent showrooms. For example, for the party experience, our team took the ideas from some of the popular reality shows and transplanted them onto our platform. These new gamified activities, together with the contribution from professional moderators, greatly improved the social experience and the monetization potentials of the party experience. In addition, in Q2, we also started to gradually expand the scale of the monetization within the chat room experience, which is currently the biggest use case in terms of DAU penetration within all audio/video entertainment experiences on the core Momo. Within the chat room experience, there are commercially operated channels that are moderated by professional hosts. These channels have been gaining traction since the second quarter and have now become a powerful growth engine for us. We also have channels that are set up and maintained by regular Momo users who organize their own social activities there. Currently, 90% of the traffic within the chat room were directed to these non-commercial channels, with only 10% going into the high RP commercial ones. Compared to the older experiences such as the party and werewolf, the chat room is still meaningfully under-monetized. With the size of its user base and the current level of monetization, we still have a lot of growth potential within the chat room experience. We plan to make it a new engine for 2020 by directing more traffic to the higher RP channels and improving the operational efforts in the non-commercial channels as well.
2019年，传统场景里的虚拟礼物业务，包括打招呼、IM 和兴趣群组等，也实现了很好的增长。这得益于产品优化和例如浪漫花车类的运营活动。另外，以抢车位为代表的虚拟社区服务的商业化尝试也取得了初步的成功。我们计划推出更多类似的产品体验，并在其中复制这种商业模式。
Virtual gifting within the traditional use cases such as the greetings, the IM chats, and the interest groups also grew pretty meaningfully in 2019, driven by product optimizations as well as operational events such as the romance car. In addition, we also saw initial success with the monetization efforts in the virtual community services such as the parking lot. We have planned to roll out more such kind of experiences and replicate our monetization model in them.
接下来简单介绍一下其他业务。移动营销不是2019年的重点工作领域，一方面原因在于宏观环境的挑战，另一方面移动营销业务本身不能像增值服务那样提升用户体验。2020年，我们将对移动营销业务保持同样的策略。如我在以前的财报会所说，联运游戏将逐步平台战术。
Now briefly on other business lines. Mobile marketing has not been one of the priority areas throughout the year 2019, mainly due to the challenging macro environment and the fact that it does not enhance the user experience in the same way as value-added services do. We will continue to apply the same strategy to the marketing business in 2020. As said on the prior calls, jointly operated games will gradually phase out on our platform.
最后，但是也是最重要的一点，我想就投资人近期比较关注的收入压力问题做一些分享。相关压力在一季度的收入指引中已经充分反映。我们认为压力是几个因素叠加的结果。第一个因素，基于直播团队进行的一项用户调研，以及管理层对于目前局面的基本判断， 我们认为疫情导致的宏观不确定性给用户，特别是高额付费用户的消费情绪带来了一定的负面影响。第二个因素，疫情爆发致使返程复工严重延后，导致节后Momo核心平台的活跃用户恢复与往年相比偏慢。同时，全国范围的居家隔离措施以及户外活动相应的下降，也会影响人们使用开放式社交平台的需求。第三个因素，1月下旬，Momo主案上对平台上的一些互动玩法进行了调整。
Lastly, and most importantly, I wanted to address the investors' concerns around the pressure that we are recently seeing on the revenue side, as indicated by our Q1 guidance. We believe such pressure could be attributed to the compound of several different factors. First, based on a survey conducted by the live streaming team and also based on management's assessment of the current situation, we believe that the uncertainties at a macro level caused by the COVID-19 outbreak has adversely affected the sentiment of our high-paying users. Secondly, the virus outbreak has caused a significant portion of our users to delay their time to leave their hometown and get back to the big cities for work. This prolonged Chinese New Year effect has led to a slower recovery of DAU and MAU on the core Momo platform than what we saw in prior years. Moreover, the nationwide social distancing control and associated decline in the outdoor activities due to the virus outbreak have also been limiting the user's intention to use open social products. Thirdly, in late January, we made adjustments to some interactive features on the core Momo platform.
春节结束后，我们一直致力于产品研发和自营运营计划，以应对上述困难。其中一大重点是通过推出新的产品和体验来恢复用户消费情绪。一部分计划已经开始付诸实施，有些已经取得了很好的进展。当然，我们在未来几个月还要付出艰苦的努力。Momo拥有扎实的团队，并且也经历过数次重大挑战和宏观层面的各种不确定性。但我们的团队在这些波折当中，已经充分证明了自己的执行能力。产品方面，Momo和探探的战略组合仍将受益于线上交友和开放社交平台长期向导的行业大趋势。我坚信我们的团队能够克服暂时的困难，继续为股东创造价值。
Since after Chinese New Year, we've been developing product and operational plans to overcome the above-mentioned difficulties. A big focus here is to introduce new products and experiences to revive the consumer sentiment. The team has already started to put some of the planned efforts into the system. Some of them are making good progress. But of course, the team still have a lot of hard work to do in the coming few months. We have a strong team and a track record of executing well amid challenges and uncertainties. On the product side, Momo plus Tantan are also poised well to benefit from the secular trend favoring the online dating and open social platforms. I have high conviction that the team will be able to overcome the temporary difficulties and continue to drive value for our shareholders.
接下来由王宇为大家介绍探探的产品和业务发展情况。
With that, let me hand over to Mr. Wang Yu to review Tantan's product and business development. Mr. Wang, please.
Thanks. So let me briefly review Tantan's operational and business development in the past quarter. On the next slide. First, on user growth. Total paying users for Tantan for the fourth quarter 2019 was 4.5 million, flat over last quarter. The flattish trend in the number of paying users was mainly caused by two reasons. First, after the fast resurgence after being reinstated on app markets, user recovery has been a bit slower than expected due to an issue that we found and fixed in November. Second, in mid-September, iOS rolled out a new subscription management policy which caused the churn to go up meaningfully in paying users. The impact of the second factor came in slightly higher than our original expectation. By the end of 2019, 60% of the users had completed iOS 13 upgrade. We expect this factor to play a less important role in the first quarter of 2020, and the churn rate should go down to a normal level as we exit Q1. Regarding the first factor, we also made some progress in Q1, which I'm going to elaborate a bit later. Now, briefly on revenues. Total revenue for the fourth quarter was 369.8 million RMB, up 66% year-over-year and 19% from the previous quarter. The gradual rollout of the flash chat experience starting from mid-November has caused the RP pool to increase on a sequential basis, which contributed to the growth in Q4. On a sequential basis, there was also an element of deferred revenue impact, which caused the revenue to grow a bit faster in Q4 than Grossing did on a Q-on-Q basis. Next, I'm going to briefly review what we've done and our future plans against our strategic priorities. Our top priority is to expand the size of the Tang community through product innovations and marketing efforts. During Q4, one of the biggest focuses was to identify the cost of the slower than expected user recovery and find a solution as soon as possible. By mid-November, we had been able to pin down the cause of the problem. It was primarily due to the tightened content reviewing policy and anti-spam measures, which caused us to overshoot and ended up limiting the activities of the good users who were mistakenly identified as spammers. The overshooting caused the retention of the male users to decrease in a meaningful way due to less number of matches and interactions than these male users could get. After the problem was identified, the team took immediate action to solve it. We introduced a series of optimizations to the product interface and algorithm, aiming at improving the female user experience and engagements, which would in turn enhance the experience and odds of matching for male users. In addition to product and algorithm optimizations, in mid-November, we also gradually rolled out a brand new experience called Flash Chat. The feature also aims at driving the number of matches and conversations on Tang. We have built monetization features into the Flash Chat experience, as such experience adds significant value to the users, especially male users. By the end of December, Flash Chat has already been fully rolled out. The data has been trending well both in terms of engagement and revenue contribution. The product and algorithm optimizations, together with the new feature launch, played an important role in improving user retention. By January, the retention ratio has already gone back to the pre-suspension period, laying a solid foundation for us to drive user growth in 2020. Now, let me give some color on the latest user trends we are seeing against the backdrop with the COVID-19 outbreak. After we fixed the user experience issue, the active users and paying users numbers grew rapidly until mid-February, especially during the couple of weeks immediately following the Chinese New Year holiday. It shows that young people today have genuine demand for dating applications. However, after mid-February, we started to encounter downward pressure around user engagement trends. We highly suspect that a large part of this can be attributed to the virus effects. Because many of our users stay at home and significantly cut down their outdoor activities, it might have limited their urge to use Tang to discover potential dates. We believe that pressure should gradually ease up and after activities normalize and the outdoor meetups begin to pick up again. Although at this point we don't know when that will happen, we believe firmly that dating sentiment among young people will eventually come back strongly after the shadow casted by the virus fades out and life goes back to normal. As we look further down into the year 2020, user growth is still the most important objective for Tang. In order to achieve that goal, we have three sub-objectives. First, as Tang Zong mentioned, we need to significantly increase the efficiency of our user acquisition effort. We believe we still have a great deal of opportunities to improve on that front. Second, we need to continue to focus on enriching the product features and enhancing user experience on Tang. Not being able to get quality matches and build meaningful conversation is a key reason for user churn using Tang. If we can get more and more effective in helping users discover new relationships and build meaningful interactions on and off our platform, we'll be able to lower the churn and improve the long-term retention on Tang, which is of critical importance for user growth for a dating product. Of course, this is not an easy task, but we are committed to working very hard and patiently to get there. Thirdly, we expect to continue to grow the average revenue per user so that we can invest more aggressively into user acquisition with a positive ROI and a satisfactory bottom line. These are the three components of our user growth plan for 2020. We are off to a not so easy start in Q1 due to the COVID-19 disruptions. However, that temporary difficulty doesn't change the long-term vision or our strategic plan for the Tang platform. Now, a quick update on our second priority, which is to drive monetization through the optimization of existing premium features and the introduction of new paying experiences. In Q4, our main focus was on testing and tweaking the new non-subscription monetization feature. The new feature is not just for monetization, but the new consumer experience can have an impact on the user experience and engagement as well. We have been making progress with the testing and seeing gradual improvements in the different metrics that we are monitoring. The team has also had new learnings about how to make it work better within the dating ecosystem. For this new feature, Q1 is still largely about refining the product and operations, making sure that the key stats continue to improve to the point where we feel comfortable to release more traffic to it. Looking into 2020, the priorities on the monetization side will still revolve around three pillars. One is optimizing the existing monetization features to drive better adoption. The second pillar is introducing new premium features and services. Within the latter, the biggest project is obviously the non-subscription feature that is currently under testing. Our goal for 2020 is for it to start generating meaningful revenues toward the back half of the year. In addition to that, we're also looking to experiment on other new monetization features on both subscription and non-subscription basis. The third pillar is our overseas development. In the past year, we have built up a sizable user base in some parts of Asia and reached possible ROI in many of the markets we are in. Our findings in these new markets prove our earlier belief that Tang poses universal appeal to users outside of China. For 2020, our goal is to scale the revenues and profits in markets that we are already in and keep pushing into new markets that make sense in terms of ROI. With that, I'm now passing the call to Mr. Jonathan Zhang for financial review. John, please.
Thanks. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our conference call today. Let me briefly take you through the financial review. Total revenue for the fourth quarter 2019 was 4.69 billion RMB, up 22% year-on-year, 5% quarter-over-quarter, and exceeding the high end of our revenue guidance. Our total revenue for fiscal year 2019 was 17.02 billion RMB compared to 13.41 billion for 2018, a 27% year-over-year growth. Non-GAAP net income attributable to Momo for 2019 was 4.49 billion RMB compared to 3.46 billion for 2018, an increase of 30% year-on-year. Now let me jump directly into the review of cost and expenses items, as revenue lines have been covered comprehensively by Mr. Wang Li and Wang Yu earlier. Our non-GAAP cost of revenue for the fourth quarter of 2019 was 2.32 billion RMB compared to 2.08 billion for the same period last year. Non-GAAP cost of revenue as a percentage of total revenue was 49.6%, a decrease from 54% from Q4 2018. Non-GAAP cost of revenue for Q4 2018 included the production cost for Fantasy, which was 56 million RMB. Excluding the Fantasy impact, the non-GAAP gross margin for Q4 2019 was up 3.1% year-on-year due to lower payout ratio from both live broadcasting and VAS businesses. We are very proud that the team has been able to drive robust revenue growth at substantially lower payout ratio, especially given that many other platforms have been trying to compete with the rising payout since the beginning of 2019. On a sequential basis, the non-GAAP gross margin decreased less than 1%, from 51.1% to 50.4% in Q4. The decrease was caused by costs incurred in connection with the live streaming year-end tournament. Non-GAAP R&D expenses for the fourth quarter was 244.3 million RMB compared to 193.9 million RMB for the same period last year, representing 5.2% and 5% of total revenue respectively. On a sequential basis, non-GAAP R&D expenses decreased in absolute RMB amount due to less year-end bonus accrued during the quarter. We ended the quarter with 2,350 total employees, of which 675 are from Tang. The R&D personnel as a percentage of total employees for the group was 58% compared to 55% before last year. Non-GAAP sales and marketing expenses for the fourth quarter was 654 million RMB, or 14% of total revenue, compared to 557.3 million RMB, or 14.5% of total revenue for the same period last year. On a sequential basis, sales marketing expenses decreased from 701.7 million. In Q3, we spent incrementally on marketing to recover from the homepage and download suspensions. In Q4, the core Momo was able to scale it back. Tang's domestic marketing costs also decreased Q-on-Q in Q4, offset by the increase in marketing spending to push into the overseas markets. Non-GAAP G&A expenses was 151.7 million RMB for the fourth quarter 2019, compared to 133.1 million RMB for the same quarter last year, representing 3.2% and 3.5% of total revenue respectively. Non-GAAP operating income was 1.46 billion RMB, an increase of 42% from Q4 2018, representing 31.1% non-GAAP operating margin for the quarter, up 4.4% from the same period last year. One thing I'd like to mention here is that for the core Momo, the annual non-GAAP effective income tax rate for 2019 was 15.5%. As one of our major profit-making subsidiaries, Beijing Momo Information Technology Company Limited, has enjoyed a 12.5% preferential income tax rate for the past 3 years. Starting from 2020, renewable every 3 years, it will be subject to a preferential income tax rate of 15% for a qualified high and new technology enterprise. We expect our annual non-GAAP effective income tax rate for Momo will be increased to 17.5% going forward. Now turning to balance sheet and cash flow items. As of December 31st, 2019, Momo's cash equivalent, and term deposits totaled 14.93 billion RMB compared to 11.29 billion RMB as of December 31st, 2018. Net cash provided by operating activities for the fourth quarter was 1.6 billion RMB compared to 1.16 billion RMB for the same quarter last year. Before we turn to our first quarter 2020 revenue guidance, on behalf of our company, I'd like to express our condolences to those deeply affected by COVID-19 virus outbreak and pay tribute to people who work diligently to fight for public health and well-being. We have also been seeing adverse impact on our business from the virus outbreak, together with certain other factors that Wang Li mentioned earlier. We expected our first quarter revenue to come in the range from 3.45 billion RMB to 3.55 billion RMB, representing a decrease of 7.3% to 4.6% year-on-year, a decrease of 26.4% to 24.3% quarter-over-quarter. Please be mindful that the forecast represents the company's current and preliminary view on the market and operational conditions, which are subject to changes. That concluded our prepared portion of today's discussion. With that, let me turn the call back to Kathy to start Q&A.
Just a brief reminder before the Q&A. For those analysts who can speak Chinese, please ask the question in Chinese first, followed by English translation by yourself. And also, if you could limit 2 questions per person, that would give other people opportunities to ask questions. Operator, we are ready for questions.
Certainly. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. If you wish to ask a question from your phone line, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad and wait for your name to be announced. We have the first question coming from the line of Thomas Chong from Jefferies. Please go ahead.
晚上好，谢谢管理层接受我的提问。我有2个问题。第一个问题是，请问管理层，我们看到3月份呢已经是开始复工复产，然后疫情在中国呢也看到了开始受到控制。想问一下呢，最近我们是不是会看到了一些流量收入的话呢，看到有一个回暖，然后管理层会预计疫情跟这个玩法的调整的影响会持续多久，以及管理层会以什么样的方法去对冲这个收入的压力，怎么去看待这些因素对全年整体的影响，以及2020年 Momo 收入的预期。Maybe I translate the first question first. Thanks management for taking my questions. As we are seeing that the business is starting getting back to normal in the month of March, and we are actually seeing the coronavirus is also under control. And just want to get a sense to see whether we are seeing traffic as well as our revenue is coming back in terms of the business trend. And how should we think about the coronavirus as well as the adjustment in the interactive features to last for how long? And what are the strategies to offset the pressure coming from there? And how should we think about Momo 2020 revenue outlook as well as the overall impact from the coronavirus? That's my first question, and then I have a very quick follow-up. Thank you.
好的，我相信这也是大家比较关心的一个问题。先说一下收入的影响以及管理层对全年的一个看法。那么1季度的指引呢，我们已经给出来了。大家可以看到，刚才王丽呢，也提到了3个因素的叠加效应。整体1季度的收入，特别是直播，确实面临一定的压力。WAS 呢也会受到这些因素的影响，但压力会小一些。这是1季度的整体收入情况。但如果我们按月度来看趋势的话，1月的大部分时间是一个正常的状态， 受影响最大的是2月份。那么3月份呢，Momo主 App 的流量和流水已经逐步呈现了一个回暖的一个趋势。
I believe that's a question that is on every investor's mind at this point of time. So now let me firstly talk about the revenue impact and the whole year outlook. We've already given our Q1 guidance. As you guys can see, due to the 3 factors that Wang Li talked about, actually it's the compound of these 3 factors. It's because of the compound of these 3 factors, our Q1 revenues, especially live broadcasting revenues, has been under some pressure. VAS is also going to be adversely affected, but the stress is not going to be as big. So that's the overall revenue situation in Q1. But if we try to break the quarter down by month and look at the monthly trajectories, for the most part of January, things were pretty much at a normal state. And, February was obviously struck the hardest by the different factors that we talked about. And actually starting from March, at core Momo, we are already seeing some gradual recovering trends, both in terms of traffic and in terms of revenues.
那么就这几个因素具体而言的话，我们认为疫情相关的流量压力从2季度开始会逐渐好转。那么另一个因素呢，就是疫情对于经济的打击可能对消费情绪产生的更长期一些的影响呢，我们会通过产品和运营措施来应对。从2季度开始，直播和 WAS 团队的各项营收拉动措施也会逐渐加码。那么玩法调整的影响呢，团队也在通过其他的新玩法来进行弥补。事实上，我们推出的一些新玩法已经开始对收入产生了拉动作用。这方面呢，Momo团队有非常丰富的一个经验，我非常有信心能够通过持续的产品和运营的创新来对冲这个因素的影响。所以我们从全年来看，基于目前看到的一个趋势，预计从公司层面，1季度应该是一个低点，2季度会开始环比反弹。那么管理层呢非常有信心，进入下半年我们会有一个令自己满意的增长水平。
So if you look at the several factors that we talked about, for the first factor, the pressure around the traffic in connection with the virus outbreak, that pressure is going to start to gradually ease up from the second quarter. For another factor, the economic impact of the virus outbreak is probably going to have some lingering impacts on consumer sentiment. For that, our plan here is to cope with it via proper product and operational methodologies. I think starting from the second quarter, the live broadcasting and the VAS team are going to be stepping up their revenue driving efforts on a graduated basis. With regards to the feature adjustment, the team has been trying to make up for the loss via the introduction of new experiences. As a matter of fact, some of the new experiences that we introduced into the system are already beginning to play a positive role in driving revenues. This is in an area where Momo's team has very rich experience and expertise. I'm extremely confident that we will be able to mitigate the impact from that specific factor via continuous innovations on the product side and also on the operational side. So if we try to look through Q1 into the rest of the year, and based on the current trajectories that we're seeing, our expectation is that at the company level, Q1 should be the low point of the year, and the second quarter is going to start to see sequential rebound. And as management of the company, we are very confident that as we enter into the second half of the year, we can have a growth level that we feel happy with.
那么具体的收入增长策略呢？对于直播而言，我们最重要的是推出新的玩法，尽快的恢复用户的消费热情，特别是高额付费用户。我们4季度推出的加注玩法初步看起来效果不错，会尽快的引入到和赛事结合的一个升级玩法。 另外，巡阅会我们会推出一些深度的玩法，例如4月我们即将推出的一个新的赛事形式叫做出品人计划，就是这方面的一个尝试。
With regards to our growth strategies, here are some key points. For live broadcasting, at this point, the most important thing to do is to keep introducing new experiences in order to revive the consumer sentiment as soon as possible, especially the sentiment among the higher paying cohorts. Last Q4, we introduced a new experience called 家族 in Chinese. In English, it's something like the family experience, which allows a bunch of high-paying users to band together and be identified as a so-called family, so that they could enjoy the glory of fight for and enjoy the glory of that family. Since its introduction, the feedback toward that experience has been very positive. So this year we are looking to maybe connect that experience with some of our competition events and create something new on top of that. And also for 巡阅会 or the offline VIP music tours, we are also looking to introduce a new upgraded version of that. For example, in April, we will be introducing a new form of competition event called the Producer Project. That's an example of what we are trying to do here.
WAS 和探探的商业化程度还比较低，产品运营创新的空间还非常大，所以 WAS 和探探的具体增长措施呢，前面已经很详细介绍了，我这里就不再重复了。
Beyond live broadcasting for VAS and Tantan, these two business lines tend to be relatively under-monetized. So we do see a lot of things that we can do on the product side to drive further revenue growth. With regards to exactly what we are going to do, we've already laid out a fair amount of details in the previous sections, so I won't be repeating here. I think there's a second question from you, Thomas.
谢谢。我第二个问题是想请问一下，公司在整体的费用和利润的情况，现在有没有一些初步的看法？然后从成本的savings 的计划呢，大概会是怎么样？Thanks for taking my follow-up questions. My follow-up question is about our overall spending as well as profitability for this year. Is there any preliminary assessment that can be shared, and also any cost-saving plan they are going to pursue? Thank you.
Hi Thomas, this is Jonathan. Let me address your second question. On the cost side, actually, given the current circumstances and competitive environment, it is very likely, as a percentage of total revenue, the overall cost will go up by a couple of percentage points. That means the gross margin is likely to dip by a couple of percentage points due to the payout ratio fluctuations as agencies' revenue continue to increase, and also the various operating efforts to be rolled out in connection with our live streaming business and the VAS business. On the OPEX side, due to the revenue pressure caused by the virus outbreak, we are surely going to be more disciplined on the OPEX side. But in order for us to continue to support our user expansion, user recovery at current stage, we definitely need to maintain certain level of marketing spending in terms of absolute dollar amount. So as a percentage of total revenue, we would see the OPEX probably will go up, especially in the first half of the year. Things will get better in the second half. In terms of the operating margin outlook, currently for the whole year, for core Momo, we are still shooting at around 30% operating margin, with the Q1 being the lowest, below average, and Q2 will start to ramping up gradually. On the Tantan side, the net loss will also significantly narrow down for the year, especially as we enter into the second half. We are going to have a more quantitative view after the virus situation gets behind us and people are back in their normal lives. Thank you.
Thank you.
Operator, ready for next.
Thank you. We have the next question coming from the line of Jilong Shi from Nomura. Please go ahead.
Hi, good evening, management. Thanks for taking my questions. 我这边有一个问题是关于探探的，有一些问题关于探探的，然后就是想先问一下，就是管理层在一开始的那个 prepare remark 里面讲到，我们现在正在测试一个 non-subscription feature， 所以就是想请管理层能不能再提供多一些的这个 details 关于这个 non-subscription feature 究竟是一些什么样的一个 service。然后的话，那个管理层之前也提到，就是我们现在也都发现了过去一年在这个探探这个用户的这个增长方面，我们可能有一些的这个一些问题，然后的话，然后也是把那些问题已经纠正过来了，所以想问一下，就是基于我们目前的一个判断的话，大概需要多长的时间，我们可以让这个探探的这个 DAU 能够回到这个去年的这个峰值的这个水平。最后的话，就是想请问一下这个管理层，就是今年全年我们对于这个探探的这个收入的这个增长这个预期是怎么样的？谢谢，我自己翻译一下。I will translate my questions. I would like to follow up on the new non-subscription feature Tantan is currently testing. Just wonder if management may provide more details on this new feature. And also management mentioned earlier, you have identified the past issues with some of your efforts to recover Tantan's users. So I just wonder, based on management's current estimate, how long it may take it may take for Tantan's DAU to fully recover to its previous peak level. Lastly, just wonder if management can provide any colors on the or guidance on the revenue growth for Tantan in 2020. Thank you.
Okay. So first, regarding the non-subscription revenue stream, we have already provided quite a few details, and we have provided all the details we feel comfortable providing at this point in time. We will provide more details as the service progresses. Regarding the general outlook, given the uncertainties caused by the virus outbreak, the related social distancing and the related social distancing control measures, it's hard for us to pinpoint the timing for a full recovery to the peak user level. Trend-wise, the number of active users picked up rapidly in January for about 2 weeks, in January and until about 2 weeks after Chinese New Year holiday, and has since been under pressure due to the spreading of the virus and nationwide social distancing control. We expect the user and paying users to start ramp up again after the offline dating activities recover in scale. It's likely to happen sometime in the middle of Q2, but it's going to be a progressive process instead of an immediate bounce back as soon as the quarter starts. So Q1 will be under pressure. Q2 could be a gradually ramping up quarter, depending on when the activities start to pick up in scale. And currently, we're very optimistic about the growth outlook in the second half of the year. With regards to user growth strategy, I've already laid it out, and the 3 things in my remarks. Revenue outlook, again, it's hard to be too quantitative about revenue numbers now, but here are my thoughts on the trends. Subscription revenue will largely follow the user trend with a deferral as the swing factor. So the first half could be under some pressure, but the subscription revenue can ramp up meaningfully from Q3 as the virus shadow fades away. Non-subscription revenue is also likely to materialize in the second half. Given these two factors, the revenue growth will be more heavily loaded into the back half of the year.
Yeah, I hope that answers your question, Jialong. Given the time, I'm sorry about the overrun of the previous parts of the call, but I guess that concludes the conference call for today. Thank you for joining us. We will see you next quarter. Operator, we are ready to close.
Certainly. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our conference call today. Thank you all for your participation. You may disconnect your lines now. Thanks.